Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Here we are again with another video. As you guys see in the description today, I'm gonna show you guys how to restore some headlights. You know, I got the CRX here. I'm trying to get these Willwoods on, but you know, unfortunately Willwood forgot to send me some parts, so I had to reach out and they are on their way, so that'll be for another day's project. And you know, if you guys remember, I bought that little hatch, that little black hatchback, and you know, it just had too many problems that I wanted to deal with, so I got rid of that thing. So now I got myself another little project, and that's what we'll be working on today. So I got me this little single cab Toyota Tacoma. I got a real good deal on it, and that's why I jump on these, because these things are bulletproof little trucks. That little 4-cylinder just goes and goes and goes, you know. So you know, I figure it'd be a good buy because this was a one-owner truck. So, and it only had 175,000 miles basically for one of these. This is basically like mid-range for the engine, you know, so we're like halfway through its life. So I've been working on it, trying to get, you know, maintenance going on it. It's got a few little oil leaks and little things here and there, but you know, all in all, for what it is, it's a nice little old truck just to get me around, and I could just throw things in the bag. That's what I really like about these. You know, it's not, I don't have to open the trunk or anything, just throw it in the bag and go. So you know, like I said, today I'll be working on restoring the headlights. As you guys can see, I already did this one. You guys can see the day and night difference. You see this one's real yellowed out, and if I come over here to this one that I already done, you could almost see the little reflector inside. You know, these headlights got those little grooves or whatever, so you know, you could kind of see it. And then I did order LEDs on this one. As you guys can see here, it's a little tube. So it's actually got a little fan that sticks out. So that's part of the LEDs, just to keep it cool. So I'm gonna turn them on and see if we can see the difference from this one and that one. As you guys can see, there's 100% more clarity through that one. You see on this one, you kind of see a shadow here, and then on this one, it's really hard to see that shadow. It's still there, but you really got to focus. So I'm sure it's gonna really help at night. Right now I took off the grill just because I'm working on it over there. I actually bought another one from the OEM one because I didn't like the one that it came with. The clear goes bad on these things, so that's what you want to sand down and bring it back to life. So right now I'm going to show you guys how to do that. First of all, you want to start by cleaning the headlight. What I'll be using on this one is 600 grit. Then I'll go to 1000 grit. And then I'll top it off with 15. I would do 2000, but I couldn't find any, so I'm just gonna do 15. The compound I use is rated to remove, you know, swirls up to, scratches up to 1200 grit, so it should work out pretty good like it did on the other one. So these lights are pretty bad, so we'll see a lot of yellow coming out, and that's what you really want. So you want to basically start with 600 grit and sand it down till all that yellow stuff is gone. That's when you know you'll have a clear, you know, finish at the end, because that yellowing is what you want to get rid of, because that's the old bad clear plastic's got, and I don't think this plastic's even got a clear. Let me get to it. So if you guys can see here, it's all that bad stuff that we want to get rid of. So you basically just want to sand down all that yellow stuff, because that's basically, if it was a clear, that would be basically the bad clear. In this case, I think it's just plastic, so just that top layer of plastic that just has gotten real oxidated over the years. Like I said, I'm just going crazy with the 600 grit because I want to be able to sand this headlight and not get that yellow color looking to it. when I'm done, when I don't see that yellow stuff coming out anymore, that's basically when I know I'm ready to go and move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm all done with the 600 grit. Now I'm gonna move up to the 1000 grit and then keep on going from there. You see, another reason why it's better to restore your headlights is because if you buy some knockoff eBay ones, because they're cheaper, they're always gonna end up leaking, and then you'll build up condensation in there, so they always look like they're wet, and you'll get water inside. You know, they're cheap, so you know they don't last long. And then your OEM headlights are always the best. You always want to, you know, have those because it's OEM. You know, it's nothing better than the original. Alright, so there's the 1000 grit. Now finishing it off with the 1500 and we'll start polishing. So you see, basically as you start, you know, sanding down with the finer grip tape, you kind of start seeing the clarity already. Like I could already start, you know, seeing the reflector inside before we couldn't even tell it was back there. So you know, that's how you know you're doing a good job. You know, the more you sand with the higher grit sand, the more success you'll have, because you'll eliminate more of the finer, of the deeper scratches. So you always want to do a little bit more with the next step. That way you ensure to get all the other little scratches that you cause with the, you know, coarser sandpaper. So as you guys can see, they are 100% better already than they were before. You know, they were all yellow, nasty, and crusty. This time, you know, they're already looking, you know, clear almost. If I run a wet cloth through here, as you guys can see there, it kind of shows that, you know, they're pretty much glossy again. So you know, now all we got to do is run the polisher or the buffer and buff out all these fine scratches. Compound is basically finer sandpaper that you can't put on a paper, so they put it on a buffer. That way you could just, you know, buff it all out and basically refine it with even finer grit sand or with finer, you know, sandpaper. So I'm gonna tape up half of this headlight and I'm gonna show you guys how it turns out with just the first step of compound. All right, so to start the buff, I'm gonna use a 3-inch McGuire's microfiber pad. And what I'm gonna do is use the M110 cutting compound. It's one of their new compounds. So basically, you know, they sell compounds for your headlights, but you technically don't need those things. You could just use regular compound and it'll work just fine, you know. You know, there's always just multiple products that do basically the same thing. So I'm gonna start by cutting it down, and I'm gonna show you guys the results after this. Alright guys, so as you guys can see here, this is after sanding it down with 600 grit, 1000 grit, and 1500 grit. You guys can see the yellow's all gone. The headlight's looking pretty good. And if we start zooming out here, this is where I already hit it with the compound. I was just buffing it out, getting all the swirls out, all the scratches and everything. You guys can see, we could clearly see the reflector back there in the back. You guys can see where the headlight mounts, the headlight bulb mounts. It's crazy what a little bit of time does, and you know, it saves your OEM headlights, you know what I mean? So basically I'm just gonna finish the whole other side, and you know, basically coat it with some ceramic coating, and it should be pretty good for a few more years. It's looking like brand new headlights, you know, and that's the main goal. Just a little bit of your time. Oh yeah, so beautiful. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to see right there, nice and clear. I'm actually excited to drive it at night now. But I did forget to say that I am gonna polish it. I'm gonna hit it one more time with this polishing pad and a little bit of polish just to refine the finish a little bit more, and then it should be ready for ceramic coating. Alright guys, so now that the headlight's nice and clean, I'm going to ceramic coat it. I'm going to put multiple layers of this one, but I'm not going to show that in this video because it just takes so long. I gotta wait an hour in between each coat. So I'm just gonna coat it here and we're gonna finish off this video. Alright guys, so there you guys have it. That's how to restore some headlights. And you could do this to any make model that has plastic headlights. And that's basically common in all vehicles nowadays. So, you know, it's an easy step. Anybody can do it. Like I said, just make sure if you got paint nearby, just tape it off. You know, avoid scratching it, and then you're gonna have more work to do. And then also you could get one of these cheap dual action polishers in Harbor Freight for a few, you know, maybe 50 bucks, and you can always use them for little scratch removal. You know, I use it a lot, so I have a Rupes, and these things I think it was like $300, $200, something like that. So it's not worth it if you're just gonna restore some headlights. But yeah, this truck, you know, it's coming along. You know, little things it's got here and there. I did already polish the whole thing. It's got scratches all over the place, but it's still the OEM color, so I did, you know, ceramic coat it. That way, you know, it stays top notch and it lasts a lot longer with the OEM color. And then we'll see how long, you know, I keep this thing. You know, I'm gonna fix everything that's wrong with it. I'm gonna detail the heck out of it. That way it's nice and clean. And other than that, you know, it's coming along. So I got this grill here that I'm putting on. I actually ordered this one on eBay. This is the OEM grill that came with the truck, and it actually sits like that. But I really didn't like this style. I actually like the style that kind of just loops around. So I'm basically in the process of customizing it because I want to, you know, incorporate these letters onto it, kind of looking like that, so it looked like the old school style. But yeah guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll have a video soon with the Willwood brakes, installing these Willwood brakes. But yeah guys, stay tuned for another video. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, peace.